A little while back, I took a road trip to wild and wonderful West Virginia to ride trains pulled by good old-fashioned authentic steam engines all the way up to the top of a mountain. And y'all, the views were amazing. Stick around to check them out. I'm here at my dad's condo complex. It was a trip that he and I took together in June of 2022, kind of a combination birthday and Father's Day trip to Cass and Elkins, West Virginia. Now, you might be thinking, hey, I thought this was a bike channel. I'm here for the bicycles. Well, if you think about it, there's a pretty strong connection between trains and cycling, because a lot of the bike trails that I ride are rail trails. Well, today, it's just gonna be rails. Rails that haven't been turned into trails yet. But what a trip it was. I had the idea to come over and just sit down with my dad and for us to sort of talk about what happened. Ever thought about going to Cass yourself? We're gonna show you what that'll look like and give you all the details. Stick around. So hopefully he's at home. I didn't really check to see if he's here or not. I mean, of course he's gonna be here. What else would an 87-year-old guy be doing on a Sunday afternoon? Taking a nap, maybe? I don't know. Let's see. Hello.
Hello. Wow, what a surprise. You know, we old folks, we like to get an energy nap in the afternoon, and Sunday is a wonderful day to do it. Well, why don't you come in, son?
All right, let's talk about trains.
Oh, I love trains.
Now, I brought some notes. In case you and I have both forgotten the details, I have...
Well, you know, at my age, I have to be careful about what I forget. How old am I, son?
You're 87.
80. That's right. That's 87.
Same as yesterday.
My last birthday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my most recent birthday. Okay.
All right. So Cass is actually an unincorporated community on the Greenbrier River with a permanent population of 38 people. 38 people live there full time, but the way this place began, it was created in 1901 as a company town. Mm-hmm. So they basically, it's a planned community as a company town for the West Virginia Pulp and Paper Company. Yeah. So what they would do, they would send trains up and cut logs up on Cheat Mountain and then bring the logs back down to be processed for paper and hardwood flooring that went out all over the country. In Cass, there was, back when they built it, there was a locomotive repair shop, as you might expect, 52 white picket fenced houses in orderly rows, and a church and a general store. And today, it is owned by the state of West Virginia, and there is a restaurant, a souvenir shop, and 20 vacation rental homes.
I was going to say, there's not much more now than there was then.
Yeah, they turned a lot of those dwellings for workers into sort of Airbnb type.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Well, what happened, the paper mill there at Cass, the woodworking and paper mill closed in 1960, and it burned in 1980. And if you'll remember, this train goes by some of the
remnants,
the ruins of where the mill burned. And in 1963, when I was 1 year old, the state of West Virginia bought the railroad and turned it into a tourist attraction. And then in the 1970s, the state bought the town and all the buildings. So that's where we are with Cass. But now, my question to you, do you remember the drive to Cass? What were you thinking as we were trying to find Cass?
That we were lost. I mean, I didn't know if we'd ever get out of there.
Yeah, so if you're driving to Cass, just be aware that your cell phones are probably going to stop working. Your GPS may not work.
Yep.
GPS is going to be all crazy. Not a lot of signs.
Nope.
telling you where to go, and you're going to wonder several times, are we in the right place? Are we going the right direction? Where is this place?
Are we ever going to get there?
But then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, here it is. Here it is. You know, that you see the little rows of white houses, and you know that you're there.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Hey, enough about Cass.
Okay.
We've got enough about Cass.
I thought that's why we were here.
You're stepping on my trademark line that I always.
Oh,
you've seen my videos.
Oh yes, I like your videos.
I'm giving away. This is a little inside baseball, but I usually say enough about whatever the town is. We've got a trail to ride. It's the blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So okay, that's
we've got a train to ride.
Yes, enough about Cass. We've got a train to ride. The Cass Scenic Railroad. Check this out.
Are we only half alive? Embers drifting in the night, looking, wandering all the time. We see a kingdom. This is not my this skin and bone. The daylight will reconcile the dead and the gone. Let the kingdom come. Been on the road, but we don't face these hills alone. Rising from these broken stones, we see the kingdom. Oh, this is not my skin and bone. The daylight will reconcile the dead and the gone. Let the kingdom come. I can see it on your face, brother, you've been bearing the weight. Sister, you are more than they say. There are whispers of a river flowing in our veins. The hope of the after. Oh, a reckoning day. This is not my home. These aching bones, the fallen, the crucified, arise with the dawn. Let the kingdom come. This is not my home. This skin and bone.
So I guess that brings back some memories. You know, one thing I noticed was that I don't think I appeared in the video, but I was wearing a hoodie and you were a little bundled up, and it was June.
It was very cool. It was almost cold. And we rode in a car that was open. On this particular trip, that we were in an open car.
Right.
So whatever the temperature, and as we climbed the mountain, and we did. And are you going to talk about the scissor back?
The switchback.
Switchback.
Yeah, so those shots that we saw where there was a train that appeared to be up above us, and you were sort of waving at the folks on that train.
Yeah.
Tell us what was going on there.
Well, they laid the track so that you would go up and then switch and go up and then switch and go up, and it was very, very different. I had never seen or even heard of that before, but it was extremely interesting.
Yeah, it's the real deal. I mean, everything about this particular train experience is authentic.
Right.
None of it is just for show or just for funsies or just for tourist. It's not like a tourist trap. It's real.
No.
Everything is real.
Yeah.
Including the smoke and the soot and everything coming out. You remember looking up and we were saying, man, I'm glad we didn't get the car that's right behind the engine, because there were people in the open air car right behind the engine, and you would have had soot in your beard.
Oh, I know. But no, it was enough to make you cough.
Yeah,
that was a real thing.
Yeah, we all had a box lunch. That was nice. I think you and I pretty much got ours gone before the ride even started, because we didn't want to be fiddling with potato chips and sandwiches and miss the train ride. And we had to stop a couple of times, as I recall, to take on water. Is that right?
Oh, it was a real thing. That train was a steam engine, and it did use water. But of course it had the coal too. Coal, and then and the water made the steam.
So the train took us up to the third highest point in West Virginia.
Amazing.
I think it's called Bald Knob.
Yeah, sounds right.
And wow, talk about the views. I mean, it seemed like you could see forever.
Nature unfolded. It just unfolded and just laid out in all of its awesome beauty. There's no comparison. I mean, there are other train rides and they're nice, but we started out with a great one, son. That was really we recommend that to anybody.
Yeah, we've been on a few since then. They're all different. They're all good, but when you start with Cass, I mean, it's all downhill from there. And I couldn't help but kind of get tickled at. I was following you with the camera. You didn't know that I was. We didn't set anything up. I didn't give you any instructions.
We didn't have an agenda.
I didn't have this channel going back then, so I was just recording, because it's what I do. And I was following you, thinking that, okay, this is going to be great. He's going to go up, get on that platform, and walk out where you can see into three states away, and he's going to look out over the expanse. What do? You walk up, you take an immediate right turn to look back at the train. And you were just standing there like, yeah, look at that train. That's an awesome train.
I love the train. I'm a train man. I was a train boy.
But now you did eventually notice the view. But first you had to get a look back at.
There's nothing like it. That train, my word, that's why I was there.
So what do we think about the Cass Scenic Railroad? You're only the second guest I've ever had on this channel. The first guest, of course, was your granddaughter and my niece, Destiny.
That's right.
But whenever I have a guest, I usually defer and allow the guest to assign the star rating. So what do we think about the Cass Scenic Railroad on a scale of 1 to 5?
I At that point, I didn't have any comparison. Loved it, enjoyed it, it was great. But since then, I've had the privilege of more. So I have comparison now. And I'm going to give it a 5. The whole 5.
5 stars for the Cass Scenic Railroad in Cass, West Virginia. Like you said, we have been on other trains, and I think we should do more episodes like this if you're willing, and we'll talk about those too.
I'm willing. Yeah.
All right.
And we don't need to wait a long time because I'm really old.
Never know what could happen. We don't want you to fall and break a hip.